Okay, so this time, no, it is very important, no, to understand on how we'll be able to do our chapter 2 because this time your pre-final requirement will be your chapter 1 and 2. Wherein chapter 2 cover the review of related literature. That's why it is be on time, no, for you to discuss about the review of related literature. So for us to understand an important of a review of related literature, of course, this is one way on how we'll be able to be sure that our review of related literature is based on our proposal, no, on our title proposal, because again, there are certain cases that uh, uh, that for us to find out the research gap, no, we need to know or we need to read and to understand at least, no, at least 15 to 20 or 15 to 30 review of related literature synonymously the same with your proposal. Now, because many researchers struggle when it comes to writing literature review for their research paper. No, a literature review is a comprehensive overview of all the knowledge available on a specific topic till date. So let's say, for example, your proposal is, let's say, development of a software in monitoring the ayuda for the amidst pandemic. So it means to say that your related literature must be starting from 2019 December up to the present. So we are not expecting 2018 and below for your review of related literature. But if it is historical, you are allowed naman at least 5 years. Now, so a literature review is a comprehensive overview of all the knowledge available on a specific topic till date, as I mentioned. So when you decide on a research topic, usually the first step you take in the direction of conducting research is learn more about the previous research published on the topic. And this eventually translates into literature review when you write your research paper. Because literature review is one of the pillars on what your research ideas stands, since it provides context, relevance, and background of the research problem you are exploring. So to give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our presenter this afternoon. Go ahead, sir.
Hello po, rinig po ba ako?
Yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. This is my report, writing the review-related literature studies. First of all, let's talk about what is review-related literature or RRL. A review-related literature or RRL is a detailed review of existing literature related to the topic of a thesis or dissertation. In an RRL, you talk findings from existing literature relevant to your research topic or research proposal. RRL is also a supporting document to your research paper. It also gives various ideas of how you should proceed to your research, especially in theoretical and conceptual framework. How to write RRL. There are 7 steps to write review-related literature. First of all, narrow your topic and select papers accordingly. Consider your specific areas of study. Think about what interests you and what interests other researchers in your field. Talk to your professors, brainstorm, and read lectures, notes, and recent issues of periodicals in the field. Next step po. Second step, search for literature. Define your source selection criteria in articles published between a specific range focusing on a specific geographic region, or using a specific methodology. Using keywords, usage search in library database. Reference lists of recent articles and reviews can lead to other useful papers. Include any studies contrary to your point of view. The third step, read the selected articles thoroughly and evaluate them. Evaluate and synthesize the study's findings and conclusions. Note of the following assumptions some of or most researchers seem to make. Methodologies, testing procedures, subjects, materials tested, researchers use, expert in the field, names, labs that are frequently referenced, conflicting theories, results and methodologies, popularity of theories, and how this has not changed over time. Next step, organize the selected papers by looking for patterns and by developing subtopics. Note the following findings that are common or contested, important trends in the research, the most influential theories. Tip, if your literature review is extensive, find a large table surface on it in place and post it to notes or filling cards to organize all your findings into categories. Develop headings and subheadings that reflect the major themes and patterns you detect. Fifth step, develop a thesis or purpose statement. Write one or two sentence statement summarizing the conclusion. You have reached about the major trends and developments you see in the research that has been conducted on your subject. Next step, write the paper or make certain that each section links logically to the one before and make after. Sir, dito po sa may 6 step, nagbigay po ako ng example kung paano po magsulat ng RRL po. Ayan o. Next slide. This example takes more analytical and evaluative approach by comparing and contrasting. Doon po yung sa example po. You can also see that this evaluation approach is well signaled by linguistic markers indicating logical connection. Next slide. Ito po yung mga linking words na pwede pong gamitin kapag gumagawa po ng RRL. Next step. The final step is review your work. The topic sentences of each paragraph should indicate the main points of your literature review. Make an outline of each section of the paper and decide whether you need to add information or delete irrelevant information or to restructure sections. Where you need punctuation marks or signal pauses or divisions with sentences. Where you have made grammatical errors or where your sentences are unclear. Next slide. Review your work pa rin po. Make certain that all of the citations and references are correct and that you are referencing in the appropriate style of your discipline. Check to make sure that you have not plagiarized either by failing to cite or source information or by using words quoted directly from the source. Text should be written in a clear and concise academic style. It should not be descriptive in nature or use the language of everyday speech. There should be grammatically or spelling errors. Sentences should be smoothly and logically. Ayun lang po. Thank you.
Okay, so again, as I mentioned earlier, no, there are types of literature review, no. So literature reviews can be categorized as experimental or theoretical, no? So experimental literature reviews basically refers to surveying all the information available on the particular topic and critically analyzing the gaps that needs to be worked upon. Okay? So in this sense, it is essential forms the first experiment of any research project. So the more extensive the review, the more precise and systematic the research project will be. So therefore, it is one of the most critical parts of one's research. No? So theoretical literature review essentially involves in two steps. No? Number one, surveying and critically reading the existing literature. And this step is commonly referred to as the experimental literature review. Another is the summarizing and actually penning down the gist, no, of your review in an organized manner. Now, this is known as theoretical review. Again, we have literature review and theoretical review. So, literature review could be a part of your thesis or research article and standalone literature review. Okay, so literature reviews for a research, no? So every research report, thesis, research article begins with an introduction to the topic of research. And this form of the literature review for the article, the main purpose of the review is to introduce the readers to the need for conducting the said research, no? So why do I need to do research? Why do I need to make this title? Why do I need to pursue this proposal or this research study? So a literature review should begin with a thorough literature search using the main keywords in relevant online database such as Google Scholar, PubMed, Science Direct, and so on and so forth. So IEEE, ACM, and once all the relevant literature has been gathered, it should be organized. No, number one, how we'll be able to organize. Our presenter mentioned about a while ago the 7 steps. No, so number one, background literature about the broad research topic to introduce the readers to the field of study. Number two, recent progress on the topic which can be organized thematically or chronologically. So ideally, separate themes should be discussed in a chronological manner to describe how research in the field has evolved over the time and to highlight the progress also in the field. Number three, the review should include a comparison and contrast different studies. No? Discussing the controversial aspect helps to identify the main gaps that need to be worked upon. No? This is essential for defining the problem statement of the study and highlighting the significance of the research under question. Number four, of course, once a problem statement has been defined, the strengths and pitfalls of other studies that have tackled the problem statement should be discussed. It is important for outlining the need and novelty of the research. So, literature review should not be a mere recounting of all available information. It should be a critical and analytical summary of the selected literature that guides the readers through the central theme of your research. So, again, we have what we call standalone literature review. So, literature reviews can also be written as standalone articles. So, these are not different from the literature review sections described a while ago. However, they are not followed the experimental data. So, they basically fall into two broad categories. Meron tayong tinatawag na narrative reviews and systematic reviews. So when it comes to narrative reviews, these are theoretical discussion of relevant information on a particular topic. It's critical analysis. So these are most qualitative in nature, similar to the review section of larger activities or articles. Narrative reviews are usually organized, of course, by introduction, no? So when you're creating a narrative reviews, number one, you need to have an introduction. So you need to establish the context of the field of research in the topic of the review. Then after that, the body. It is normally used for describing the different themes under the main topic by dividing them into different subheadings. No? So the section compares and contrasts published studies and identifies gaps that have not been addressed or had been unsuccessfully addressed. Let's say, for example, no, in a body, your proposal is about mobile web-based class scheduling management system. So in your literature, what you're going to do is, of course, the first one is your introduction of your literature. Then what you're going to do to first, of course, web development. Then, of course, your literature about web development. Then the next, for example, is class. You review literature about class. Next will be the scheduling. So your discussion about scheduling, no, management system, your discussion about management system. Then after that, review of class scheduling, literature of class scheduling, and so on and so forth. No, this will be your actually variable. Then let's say, for example, right after your statement of the problem, you wanted also to check the compliance of your software into ISO 9126. Let's say, for example, you just only choose the PARPs, no, in ISO 9126 because we have a lot of things to consider in ISO 9126. But let's say, for example, your proposal is fitted only for PARPs, no, functionality, usability, and so on. So therefore, in your review of related literature, you need also to give some literature related to functionality, to usability, to reliability, and so on and so forth. So this will be the body of your review of related literature. That is topical, no, by topics, no, it depends upon to your independent variables in your title itself. Okay. Then after that, you need to create a conclusion or synthesis, no. This section differs slightly between reviews which are part of the research articles and narrative reviews. No, the section describes the main conclusion from analysis of all current studies and puts forth further avenues for research. And this section requires critical interpretation by the author such that the review adds value to existing literature. It should bring out ideas, no, hypotheses that can explain by discrepancies and provide solution to existing problems. No? Another way around is the systematic review. A while ago, I mentioned about the narrative. So this time, systematic reviews. In systematic reviews, no, systematic review follow a well-planned methodology to qualitatively or quantitatively analyze a different number of studies. They usually focus on a single question and have clear study objectives that are worked upon in a systematic manner. No, and these studies are based on a well-defined strategy, unlike narrative reviews, because systematic reviews and narrative reviews are organized slightly differently. Okay, now for the systematic, syempre meron ding introduction. So systematic review begins with a specific research question that are defined in terms of the samples and research outcomes to be studied. So when we say sample, let's say for example, Cainta Catholic College faculty or students, that is population. Then you just only ask BSCS third year, that is sample. Okay? And the research outcomes to be studied must be also covered. Then after that, what will be the methods? This will be the systematic reviews. This study have a comprehensive methodology that starts by narrowing down the literature for the review. Usually, specific inclusion or exclusion criteria are set based on the research questions, and databases are searched based on this criteria. No? Once the sample studies had been shortlisted, they have analyzed, of course, in detail. No? Then, of course, the result. No? The result section, this we are talking about systematic review. The result section of these studies involves comprehensive data analysis to determine the significance of the study outcome. Because systematic reviews can be accompanied with meta-analysis, which involves statistical analysis of the included study to increase the power of the result. Then after that, of course, the discussion. Kanina body. So this time discussion. In this section, usually interprets the study data based on their weighted significance and the power of result. So the study therefore provides strengthened results that are validated by the scientific rigor of the analytic method or analytical method. Before starting to write a review, it is important to determine what kind of review you want to write and follow the approximate style in guidelines. Because an effective literature review is important for the complete life cycle of research, from defining the right research goals to correctly interpreting and presenting the research result. Okay, so I hope it is clear to each and everyone. Now, I just want to show you, I just want to share you on how you'll be able to get, a while ago I've mentioned about Google Scholar, Science Direct, and so on and so forth. Now, for you to get a literature, no? Let's say, for example, you're looking for a related studies or related literature. So what you're going to do is just simply to open the Google, no? I think everybody knows how to use Google, no? So let's say Google, no? So Google, no? It's better for us to use Google Scholar rather than the Google general Google, no? So Google Scholar, then let's say your proposal is class scheduling. Class scheduling management system. As you can see here, the Google Scholar give you a lot of class scheduling topic. So you just read all the possible class scheduling related proposal. You have here an automated class scheduling system. You have implementing class scheduling system at the College of Business and so on and so forth. Better for you to look into the class scheduling available first in our country. Then after that, look for an international, no? An international related to your proposal, no? Now, a while ago, I'm also mentioned that it depends upon on you if you are going to use systematic or narrative. But most commonly in our part as ComSci, no, we are always using the systematic, no, because our proposal most commonly is experimental. No, we are using an experimental, no. Let's say, for example, okay, when actually way back 2013, 2008 to 2013, I'm handling also capstone or thesis project, no, in one of my previous university. Let's say type natin. If you wanted to look with my previous research proposal na posted na siya and published in journal, you will be able to see it now. So as you can see here, I have a proposal entitled asymptotic analysis of the running time performed by various sorting algorithms. Now, that is if we wanted to look into it, that is IEEE, if I'm not mistaken. Ayan, no, IEEE.org. So as you can see here, we have a background, no. Pero yun nga, may bayad kasi to, kaya as you can see, only available is the abstract, no. So but we have theoretical, related methods, results, pero kailangan mong bayaran, no, para makita mo yung ano. Okay, so ganun dapat ang paggawa ng review of related literature. Then let's say yon, homomorphic filtering approach for eliminating ayan, that is also IEEE. Now, maybe you are also asking, how about, as you can see, it's just not multiple, the list of the name is not alphabetically arranged, right? So it means to say that there are certain things to consider also in writing your name, even in your research, your capstone, your thesis, or even in your books, no? If you are an author of the books, no? If equally, no, both of you are equally develop the system and the research itself, that is alphabetically arranged. But if not, most commonly the first name will be the main author, the second author, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this will be also observed, no. So let's say, for example, if you wanted to get this abstract, no, and you wanted to make this one as your literature, be sure that you will be able to get the name of the first author, no. Let's say Santos Arman Bernard, 19 that is 2021 yata, no. 2021, opening close 2021. But before that, no, Santos Arman Bernard, et al, no, and others ang ibig sabihin. Okay, later on I think there's somebody who will be able to discuss about the referencing, no, but this is the way on how we'll be able to do our research, no. So published 2021, International of Intelligent Technologies, no. So this will be the DOI. Most commonly, it is also important for us to know the DOI, no? Yung direct access natin. Okay, then after that, let's say for example, that is way back 2013, no, when I was taking my doctor in IT, this will be my proposal. A while ago, I've mentioned also that actually during our last meeting that I also discussed that if you are going to create a system or develop a software which is now readily available in the market, what you're going to do is just to look in at least 3 to 5 and found out their available modules or transactions within this software. As what I did here, no, as what I dito, based sa aking proposal, no, what I'm going to do is to look into the 3 different e-learning because my proposal is about development of an e-learning software. During that time, meron tayong mga e-learning software na available, Moodle, Claroline, Blackboard. So what I'm going to do is just to map, no, mapping. No, when you say mapping, what I'm going to do is to list down the available module per available how do you call this one, LMS, no. Let's say in Moodle we have student enrollment in courses, meron din si Blackboard, meron si Claroline. Restricted access bot meron, and so on and so forth. But as you can see here, let's say for example, SIP courses and provide on CD on students, wala si Claroline, something like that. So this will be the way on how we'll be able to look into its available available modules or transaction within the system. Let's say for example, different key features. What will be the available features for Moodle, for Blackboard, for Claroline? Let's say bandwidth, no. In Moodle, when you say bandwidth, all features work on dial-up. Blackboard bandwidth hog may time out. Claroline powerful server provides by and so on. Plugins, no plugins for Moodle, heavily and so on and so forth. This will be a one way for you to know what will be the available modules or available how do you call this one? I am familiar with modules pero may ibang term dito kayo na ito yung laman niya, ito yung transaction na ginagawa niya, at ito yung wala. Then after that, as you can see here, what I'm going to do is to maintain, no? To maintain the common to all. Common to all transaction or common modules to the tree, no? So as you can see here, no, I'll just want to make it large, no? So as you can see here, what I'm going to do is to the red is the Moodle, Claroline is orange, Blackboard is green, then my additional module is yellow, the proposed. So as you can see here, all the modules available in tree must be also available with my developed integrated dynamic learning environment. Then I add some additional module. Yung po mga nasa yellow. Ayan. So yun sa kanila, wala kasi silang evaluation. Wala silang view announcement, walang view grade review. Yan, ginawa ko yan. Kasi nga, yan yung wala dun sa tatlong available na sa market. Dapat ganun din ang ginagawa ninyo. Okay? Yan. Okay, so I think that's it for for the available. Let's say, actually, there's somebody who are now writing the cloud class scheduling, no? But during that time that I'm handling Capstone in Fatima University, my student already developed the class scheduling, but it's just only virtual private network, no? Sorry, medyo mabagal lang. Then my student also yan, as you can see here, there's may abstract na siya, no, and so on and so forth. No, so yon. So they are my student and I am their advisor, kaya nasa dulo ako kasi nag-advise lang naman ako. Okay? So take note yan, 2013 pa yan. Class scheduling na ginagawa nila. Propose mobile na ang application na ginagawa nila during that time. No, so makikita natin, no, na napaka-late na natin kasi ngayon pa lang tayo nagmo-mobile, no? So pero before, no, hindi ko makita yung ginawa namin na naka-develop yung student ko ng sariling yung pwede ka mag-run ng program online sa ginawa nilang software application. Pwedeng i-run ng Java, yung C at saka C++. Parang katulad ng CodeChamp ngayon, kung familiar ka sa CodeChamp. Ganon. Pero ang initial nun, mga estudyante ko gumawa nun. Okay, nung 2018. So ibig sabihin, if you are going to do a software or to propose a software, see to it that if that software is now readily available in the market, be sure that your proposal is better than the available in the market today. Okay? Kasi ganon yung panel. Okay, so I think that's it. Again, as I mentioned earlier, no, your pre-final requirement is chapter 1 and 2 edited, no? So you are look with your advisor, no? Dapat may advisor na kayo this time kasi nag-recreate na kayo ng software, no? Dapat nagpapacheck na kayo sa advisor niyo kasi hindi. Ako kasi professor ninyo, iba yung advisor. Ang tawag technical advisor or thesis advisor, okay? So I think that's it for this topic.